We are now coming towards the end of October. By the time you see this video, it will be November already. Back in June, the BC liquor stores had a summer release, which is funny because the summer release is towards the beginning of June and summer only begins on the 21st. It's just one of those things. So back in June, you could pre-order certain whiskeys. You had to go online and pre-order them, otherwise you were not going to get them. They were not going to be on the shelf. These whiskeys, you had to pre-order them. And then if you got in early enough, or earlier than everyone else, or earlier than those who got in later, you got to get a bottle if you pre-ordered it. Now, I was quite disappointed because I saw this whiskey in the catalog and I wanted to get one, but I was busy doing something else, like I was at work or something. And so when the pre-order period started, I was not online, and when I finally realized that I should pre-order things, everything was gone already by the time I was gonna pre-order. So I thought, okay, you can't win them all. I didn't get to have the 2023 edition of Shelter Point 10 years old. You may recall that a couple of years ago I did have a 10-year-old Shelter Point. In fact, I had two 10-year-old age statement Shelter Points. One of them was a 10-year-old Shelter Point, and the other one was a marriage of two barrels that were from Ardbeg, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, these two barrels, I tasted them with oh, don't you hate it when you can see somebody's face but you forget his name? Leon Webb. Oh, how silly. We made a video together at the Shelter Point Distillery where we tried the two barrels side by side. We tried them, tasted them, and he said that he's going to release a marriage of these two barrels and call it Prohibition. And I did have that. And I made a video about that one too when it finally came out. But this one you could not get from the distillery. This one you could not order from the distillery. This one was in the BC liquor stores for the summer release. And you had to pre-order it from the BC liquor stores, otherwise you were not going to get it on the shelf. Really, you know, I don't know. Because I'm usually first in line when it comes to the Summer Spirit release or the Premium Spirits release. The Premium Spirits release is coming up on the 20th of November. So exactly a month from now. I'm looking forward to that too, and I'm going to try and be first in line. So, I drive a taxi for a living. And one evening, I was dropping off a fare. I was dropping off a customer, and I was right near this liquor store that I had been in before, but had recently, in the last couple of years anyway, had expanded to being like 3 times the size it used to be. And I thought, oh, well, I'll go take a look and see what their whiskey selection is like. So I went in there and I saw Scotch. I go, I've had this Scotch, I've had that Scotch, I've had that Scotch, I've had that Scotch. Looking at all the Scotches, well, this would be nice, but I don't know. So then I turned around to the Canadian shelf, and on the top shelf of Canadian whiskey, this was there. There was one. This was the one. Shelter Point 10-year-old. It says the 10-year-old single malt whiskey. It doesn't mention that there were Shelter Point 10 years old before, but they were only available if you ordered directly from the distillery. These were in the stores. These were in private liquor stores. And I had gone a couple of weeks before down to the Tudor House, where I often get hard-to-find whiskeys. And they didn't have any. They were sold out. But I got this one from the Vessel Liquor Store, which is right at the Oak Bay Junction, where Oak Bay Avenue begins. If you're familiar with Victoria, then you know where that is. The Vessel Liquor Store. At the Vessel Liquor Store, this cost me, it was $110.09 with a $5.50 goods and services tax, provincial liquor tax of $11, 10-cent bottle deposit, a grand total of $126.59 out the door. So $126.59 out the door. Yes, of course, I'll take it. It was the only one. This was the instance where you had to jump on it. Okay, so it has this imagery of Northern Vancouver Island, among the finest products in the world. Says, who says that? Shelter Point Distillery. Double gold winner, San Francisco World Spirits Competition 2022. World Spirits Committee, among the finest products in the world. And on this side it says, also from Shelter Point Distillery, Smoke Point. Smoke Point and that regular Shelter Point, but this is the Shelter Point 10-year-old. 46% ABV. I'm going to grab the bottle. There it is. Shelter Point 10. And I was able to buy a backup bottle through Craft Cellars in Alberta. I think it was from Craft Cellars. I'm pretty sure it was. So I got a backup bottle from Craft Cellars, and this one I picked up at the Vessel Liquor Store. And, you know, I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't get it at the summer spirit release. But BC liquor stores weren't exclusive. It was not an exclusive product to them. Private liquor stores had it too, which I'm thankful for. And it even made its way to Alberta, which I ordered from. Okay. This is a composite cork, sawdust and glue. Instead of the usual Shelter Point, if you're not familiar with this, if you're only tuning in now, Shelter Point had this really cool glass stopper which practically opens itself. All you have to do is tilt it and it's open. But now they put a cork in, which I think is a step backwards. Putting a cork in Shelter Point is a step backwards from the glass stopper and the plastic O-ring, which I think makes a better seal. But that was one of the unique things. Who else has a stopper like that? You can just pop it over and it opens itself. There's that Irish whiskey. That Irish whiskey, Waterford. I just have to look at my wall to see examples of stuff like that. Waterford. Waterford has that same kind of cap. Well, here we are with the 10-year-old Shelter Point single malt. The 10-year-old. Might as well show it to you. And there's some writing on the back. I know I'm 10 minutes in already, and I haven't nosed it, and I haven't tasted it. I'm sorry. Located on the shore of the Salish Sea in the northern Vancouver Island on the Pacific coast of Canada, Shelter Point Distillery has been quietly distilling and laying down whiskey since 2011. 2011, yeah. The first 10-year-old was in 2021. We are proud to present this bottle of 10-year-old single malt that demonstrates our commitment to craftsmanship, quality, and tradition. A true classic single malt, of which you can be proud. That shows a depth and complexity and character only found among the finest products in the world. Okay. There's a couple of tasting notes after that. Oh. It's kosher. It's kosher too. What do you know? Canadian single malt. Well, if I like this one, it's a good thing I got a backup bottle already. Maybe there will be other 10-year-old editions. Okay, sheeting action, trails of tiny droplets. Don't know if you can see those, but they are trails of tiny droplets. Oh, right away. Smells like Shelter Point. Shelter Point single malt has this one particular nosing note, which reminds me very much of Tootsie Roll chocolate. The Tootsie Roll chocolate. And there it is right there. Unmistakable Shelter Point. Tootsie Roll chocolate, malted barley. Some vanilla, some toffee, some caramel. But the Tootsie Roll chocolate, that's what I remember most about Shelter Point. This is unmistakable. And this is probably aged in ex-bourbon barrels. There is no overcoat. There's no sherry. There's no finish. This is just straight up Shelter Point single malt. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm taking my time on this one. Mm. Mm. Shelter Point. Malty. Malty to begin with. Transitions to spicy. Very spicy. It's a lot spicier than most Shelter Point. Just spicy. And the spice fades and fades. It's a medium finish, but there's still hints of spice hanging on in my mouth. Gotta do that again. Malty. Tootsie Roll chocolate. Yeah, spicier than the artisanal single malt. Woody malty. Spicy. Spicy. Salty? Maybe a little bit of a sea spray in there. What do they say? Depth and complexity and character only found among the finest products in the world. Sweet, with a hint of brine and smoke. I get the brine. This special whiskey is rich in fruit, baking spices, yes, spices, and subtle tannins, finishing long and smooth. Well, baking spice, yeah, spicy. I got the spicy. Fruity, maybe not so much, but I definitely got that Tootsie Roll chocolate. Yeah. I would say the finish is more spicy than smooth, but it is long because it's hanging on. It does hang on. Ah, there it is again. Malty. Tootsie Roll chocolate. Not that fruity. Yeah, a bit briny. Definitely spicy. I don't get smoke at all. Unless... Oh, wait a minute. Some of what went into this could have been in one of those ex-Lafroig or ex-Ardbeg casks. Might be a bit smoky, yeah. It's complex. There's definitely a lot going on in this glass. And it's only going to open up and get better. Let me add just a little bit of water to it. Let's see what that does. Will that open things up a little? It's already full flavored, full bodied, full flavored. Oh. Oh. That may have improved it. I'm getting lots more Tootsie Roll chocolate now. More malty. More of that salty sea spray. Now, I'm getting fruity. After adding water, I'm getting fruity. What fruits am I getting? Pineapples and peaches? Yeah. Pineapples, peaches. What are those other fruits? What are those other ones? They're like peaches. I haven't seen them in a long time. I haven't got them on a whiskey in a long time. Yes, now that I've added some water, it is definitely fruity, but I wasn't getting the fruity before. I was just getting spicy. Oh. Now it's spicy. And the Tootsie Roll chocolate. It starts out fruity. Now I'm getting spicy and Tootsie Roll chocolate towards the finish. Yes, this is a complex whiskey with a lot going on. For a 10-year-old, it is just superb. I'm really going to enjoy this bottle and the backup bottle that I got. Oh, I'll drink to your very good health.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.